So, I just read an article in 17 magazine in the life section, and a girl named Caitlin, her school had a pro-abstinence speaker named Pam Stenzel come through and, visit and everything. And I was reading the article, and this is crap, what Pam said, according to the article. I read the first paragraph, and that set me off. It says, if someone called you a slut, judging you, and challenging who you are without ever having met you, you'd be upset, right? I know I was when Pam Stenzel, a pro-abstinence speaker, gave an assembly at my school on April 7th. She apparently told students, I could look you in the eyes and tell if you're going to be promiscuous. And if you take birth control, your mother probably hates you. Even just recounting her comments makes me pissed. Who was she to shame girls about something as normal as our sexuality? I didn't like that. And just because you're on birth control does not mean your mother hates you. Pam needs to do a rain check, in my mind. I've always been the kind of person to stick up for what I believe in. It might be why my classmates elected me as student body vice president. So when I was given a heads up about Pam's extreme views by a teacher the night before the assembly, I went straight to YouTube to see what she was talking about. That's where I came across videos to links and articles where Pam was saying things like condoms almost never work, and no one has ever had more than one sexual partner and not paid for it. Her lectures were so demeaning I couldn't believe my public school would let her speak. My health classes taught abstinence only, which I don't agree with, but it's true. If you don't have sex, you don't get pregnant or catch STDs. But Pam's talks were full of false information and a mean tone that seemed to specifically target girls. I didn't want to sit through someone yelling at me about sex. Ignore it. Where was I? You don't get pregnant or catch STDs, but Pam's talks were full of false information and a mean tone that seemed to specifically target girls. I didn't want to sit through someone yelling at me about sex. I didn't think my friends would want to either. So I posted about the assembly on Twitter and Facebook and encouraged my classmates to skip it with me. The next day, around 200 students now refused to attend the assembly. But those who went tweeted things like WTF with quotes from Pam. After I saw girls sobbing in the halls and people saying that Pam made them feel worthless if they weren't virgins. I listened to Pam's speech on my friend's iPhone. He had recorded most of it. Even though I hadn't heard it firsthand, I was fuming. West Virginia, where I live, has one of the highest teen birth rates in the country. Clearly, teens are having sex. Pam's message felt not just wrong, but dangerous. School is where we should learn to make our own decisions, not be humiliated. I decided skipping the assembly wasn't enough. I had to make sure other students didn't go through such a traumatic experience. To get my message out, I contacted a newspaper and told them what had happened. It wasn't just about my school. I wanted girls at every school to get real sex ed. In class the next day, I heard my name over the PA system. My stomach dropped. I've never been called to the principal's office. It had to be about the email I sent to the reporter. I was nervous to confront Mr. Allenbacher, my principal, since he was the one who had invited Pam to speak in the first place. Turns out I was right. The reporter had called Mr. Allenbacher for a comment, and when I got to his office, he was furious. He asked why I went to the press without telling him. Then he asked how I would feel if he told my college that I had bad character. I tried to speak, but he just kept talking over me, which was so frustrating. I actually started to cry. Finally, I walked out, and in the hall, it hit me. I had worked so hard to get accepted to, something college. My dream school. Would he really try to take that all away? I couldn't risk my college career, so I hired a lawyer to help me, practically overnight. More news outlets picked up my story, and my message started to spread. I couldn't believe people cared that much about what I had to say. Don't get me wrong, not everyone liked that I was speaking out against Pam's presentation. My town is pretty conservative, and at school people would go silent as I walked down the halls, like they were just talking about me. A football player even spat on me. Maybe that's why it was such a relief when Leslie tweeted me, saying excited to welcome you this fall, and alumni and students at the college started a petition supporting my message to give girls better sex ed. More than 2,000 people signed it. Knowing so many people cared about this issue made me realize, wow, I could really have an impact on how sex ed is taught. This experience proved that if you see a problem, you can't wait for someone else to solve it. I'm just one girl from a small town, and I'm proud that I had the power to fight the kind of education my classmates and students everywhere deserve. Sure, it's scary to speak out when you're not sure who will have your back, but I knew I had responsibility to stick up for all the girls who were scared or ashamed. Now I want girls everywhere to know, no matter what the issue is, you can make a difference. I have not yet looked at Pam's videos on YouTube, or videos of Pam on YouTube, and I want everyone to look at her videos so you can see what she has to say, because right now I'm disagreeing. That's what I got to say. What do you got to say? I think it's crap. I mean, the thing that stood out to me was the fact that girls are getting hurt because they're not virgins anymore. They feel like they're worthless. There are girls I go to school with, not saying names, that are moms, and they are amazing moms. They are great people, and they got pregnant, but they kept their baby. They probably don't really care. I mean, they love their baby. It's their baby, their choice. Do not ever feel like crap. I'm standing up for what I believe. I don't know if everyone else agrees with me, but that's what I believe. And if Pam has anything to say, I think that we shouldn't have to deal with Pam. I looked at her website. She still has a website. I don't believe anything Pam says. So, yeah. Bye, guys.